Well, I do think we have someone backstage who wants to talk to all of you. Everyone, please welcome Rebecca Mader.
Morning! How is everyone?
Woo! Great. All right, so Rebecca, welcome. And I have to jump right into it. In the most recent episode of Once Upon a Time that we've seen, Selina gave birth. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
To the new mom. How does it feel to be a new on-screen mom?
I haven't had much time yet because somebody whisked me and poofed me away. So I had my baby, Robin held it, and then Emma took me away, so I don't know yet.
Okay, there are a lot of changes going on with Selina all of the time. When we first met Selina, she was the Wicked Witch of the West, and in Oz and doing her thing there. But has it surprised you where the show has decided to go with her character?
Well, yeah, because I'm not dead. So I was dead, and then I wasn't dead, so it was very surprising. You know, when Rumpelstiltskin, shattered me into a million pieces and I went up in a poof of green smoke, I had no idea that I was coming back. So I was very nicely surprised when they called me up and they're like, do you want to be undead? I'm like, yeah. They're like, by the way, you were made Marion the whole time. I'm like, shut up! And then Adam and Eddie were like, wait for it. So I pulled the car over. And they said, you're pregnant with Robin's baby. I'm like, oh my God! I'm like, they're gonna kill me! I'm gonna get so many hate tweets. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to go into hiding. Oh, I was so worried. But I don't write it, so I said yes, I would love to have Sean's baby. So I did. Oops.
So on a redemption scale for Selina, where would you place her between she totally doesn't care about anybody else in Storybrooke and maybe she wants to be Auntie-Selina one day?
I love how uninvested Selina is. It cracks me up, in the scene and everyone's in Granny's diner and oh God, we've got to help Emma and the Dark Swan and everyone's worried, and then it cuts to me in the corner like, just so not interested. She's just awful. It cracks me up. So what was the question though in terms of redemption?
So is she maybe going to be like, I kind of want to be Aunt Selina one day, or is she, no, don't care about you guys?
Well, she's only Auntie Selina. The only time I really said that was when I was strangling the life out of Henry, which was so much fun. I love my job so much. But that's really the only person I'm an auntie to. But I think it's going to be interesting to see, having a baby, how that's going to change Selina and if it's going to warm up her cold heart anymore and, make her a better person, because ultimately, really the only thing she's ever been looking for is love, and I think she sells it as revenge, and I want to take everything I've ever had. But I think ultimately she just needs a cuddle.
Now, interesting you say that, because here's the thing, Selina tends to crush on unavailable men. First Rumpelstiltskin, then Robin Hood. Do you think she'll ever find a guy of her own?
I hope so, because I don't want to be that girl. Ooh. Girl power, girls get together. I'm not that person. And I don't think it's just that she hits on unavailable men. I think I do believe that she was in love with Rumpelstiltskin, just in terms of, Selina was born with magic, and this was the only person that was also magical and kind of helped her hone her craft. And, her dad was an alcoholic, and then her mum abandoned her. So she had all these mummy and daddy issues, and I think she really looked up to him in a way, And I don't think she had zero interest in Robin. She literally only was made Marion and made a baby with Robin to screw with my sister. So I don't think it's like, I want to be with a man that's with somebody else. I think, she was just trying to foil her plans, but I think ultimately it would be nice for Selina to find a really nice bloke or girl, whatever she's into, don't know yet, and see what happens, Just get some action. Poor Selina, But you know what I love about her, though? I kind of like the fact sometimes that she's not in a couple, because I love being single too, and I love being in a relationship, and I think it's really important for young women to know that it's really good to have some years where you're by yourself doing your thing, and I think that's really cool about her.
Well, there's nothing to hold Selina
I don't
back.
need a man,
If she wants to go ruin someone's life on Tuesday, she doesn't need permission from anybody. She just go.
At
do
all,
it.
absolutely.
We're gonna take some fan questions. What is your question?
Hi, Rebecca.
Hi.
It's me.
Hi, you.
I was wondering, what was your most embarrassing moment you've ever had on set? And the funniest.
I've got a really good one, but it's not from Once Upon a Time, it's from Lost. I know, I miss it. One day I was going for a wee in the jungle, and Evangeline Lilly was coming towards me, and we were always in the jungle, whatever, and we had porta potties, which were disgusting. Like 2 porta potties for the whole crew, mostly like, big Hawaiian boys and me. She's like, what are you doing? And I'm going for a wee-wee. And she's like, in that thing? Dude, no. I'm like, why not? She's like, it's disgusting. She's like, you're in the jungle. You can go anywhere. I'm like, oh yeah, like you can go behind a bush or a tree. Why am I sticking myself in a plastic porta potty that reeks? Anyway, so I did, and I squatted down, had a wee, went back, acting, blah, blah, blah. And like months later, Josh Holloway said to me, remember that time you went to the loo? I'm like, yeah. He's like, me and Jorge Garcia were right behind you, smoking a cheeky cigarette going, ooh! And I'm like this, just bent over, having a wee, and they were right behind me and saw everything. You're welcome, America.
My goodness. So, Selina's priorities after having a baby were kind of like, need my magic and need a cool outfit. So, do you think she's wondering where the baby is, what's going on with the baby, or is she kind of like, gonna mess with Hook and Emma some more and have some fun on my own?
Oh, I know the answer to that, and I can't say it.
Spoilers, no spoilers.
You're gonna see, and you're gonna see next week. Annoyingly, there's no new episode tonight, but you'll see, exactly what she's gonna do with that in episode 510 that airs next week.
Exciting.
All right, we'll take another question.
Good morning, Rebecca. Hello.
Hello.
So I am also a ginormous Lost fan, in addition to being a Once Upon a Time fan.
Nice.
And we're obviously all Once Upon a Time fans. What do you geek out about? What would you wait in line for and want to go to a panel for?
I watch so much television. If I'm not making television, I'm watching television. I would pay money to be on Game of Thrones. I would be a female Doctor Who for free. I would give them money. But I think Game of Thrones is probably one of my favorite shows. I watch so many things. I would totally sit in panels for certain things that I like. I'm a massive, massive TV fan and geek, and I love it. I love it.
We'll go over here. What is your question?
So, you kind of asked the question that I was going to ask, but I'm wondering if Selina was nice, like not evil and wicked. I know it sounds boring to you, but if she was, how would she act? Like, what would her role be?
I can't imagine what it's going to be like to be Selina if she does at some point find true love or falls in love with her baby and gets healed in her heart in some way. I don't know what that looks like, and if it does happen, I'm sort of interested to see the journey. But to be honest, I don't ever think she'll lose her snotty sarcasm. That's not going anywhere. But I don't know, that'd be interesting to see. Thank you.
Thank you.
Speaking of that snotty sarcasm, how do you get into Selina Mode? I mean, she has this unique, very sharp-tongued way about her. How do you get into that?
One of the best things about playing a villain is villains don't think that they're villains. Villains think that they're amazing. And they think they're completely justified in all the hideous things that they do. And one of the things I like about Selina is she genuinely, thoroughly enjoys what she's doing. Whether it's kicking Snow White in the stomach, it's like, gotta be done, someone's got to do it. And I think she just really delights in what she's doing. And I think, I love being in scenes where everyone is so #invested in what's going on, and we're so, oh God, poor Emma, we've got to save poor Emma, and I can't wait for it to be my line where I can go, don't really care. It really tickles me. I really, I don't know, it really tickles my fancy.
With Barbara Hershey coming back, do you think that mom and daughter may have some conversations? Possibly.
They might.
No spoilers, no spoilers. What's your question?
I'm doing a career introduction for my class, and I picked acting, and I wanted to ask you, how did you get the job to be Selina?
I actually was offered the part without even having to an audition, which as an actor, I mean, you audition and you audition and you get no's and you get no's and you get yeah or no, we changed our mind. So that was a real blessing for me, for it literally to be offered to me. But Adam and Eddie had written for me on Lost, that's where they come from. So that was just something that fell out of the sky, and the universe just decided that it should be me. But in terms of, you know, getting into the business and things like that, it's not easy. And, you know, I've been doing this for 15 years, and I've had periods of my life where I couldn't afford to eat. I mean, even, you know, a few years ago I had an audition and my gas was out of my car and I didn't have any money, so I couldn't go to the audition. So, you know, so there's going to be tough times, and the only reason I'm sitting here is because I never, ever gave up. So if you really want to be an actress and you really want to do it, take classes, and when you're not working and you think it's all over, if you really truly believe in yourself and it is what you so love to do and you don't have a plan B, then just don't ever give up, because there have been a lot of times in my career when it would have been much easier for me to just go back home and call it a day, and I didn't, and I'm really glad I didn't, so you shouldn't either. Good luck.
All right, we'll take another question. Go ahead.
In this season, they introduced Prometheus's flame. So could we see any more Greek artifacts or even the Greek gods?
I can't, that's a spoiler because I do know the answer to that. Stay tuned. I mean, that's boring. I know that's a horrible answer. It's a good question, but you'll see, I promise. Thank you.
All right, Rebecca, one thing we wanted to ask you, Once Upon a Time is filled with some serious girl power.
Yeah!
Right? Don't we love that? Now, many viewers see all of these women as role models, including Selina. So how do you feel about that? What's it like?
It's so cool. I mean, as I said, I've been acting for 15 years and I can't tell you how many terrible, terrible characters I've had to audition for, like, you know, prostitute, drug addict, you know, the person in the scene that's got one line, or going, help, ugh. So to be on a show that, you know, is written by men, but they're also, you know, they just know how to write for women. They've got wicked wives, their wives are really cool and really strong. They just know how to write for women. And as a female actor, I mean, that just never happens. And I love the fact that we'll be in a scene and boys and girls on the show and things are going wrong, and, you know, Regina will be like, I got it. And then I'm like, I'll take care of it. And it's like, and the boys go, oh, thanks ever so much for saving our lives. I mean, it's just so fulfilling. Like, the girls are so much more powerful. It's brilliant.
Is it tricky trying to be other characters when you poof, like when you were Ariel? Is it tricky to pretend to be other characters? Poof, surprise, you've been Selina-'d.
Well, typically it's the other actor that has to slightly be me a little bit before they shapeshift back into me. And I thought Christy Lang, who played Maid Marian, did a really good job of that. She's, you know, all of a sudden she's like, not exactly. And then, boom, it was me. So it's usually the other person that has to copy me a little bit.
That's fun and exciting. And did you and Christy ever talk about, okay, you have to look a certain way at Robin and pretend to be me and have that little bit of a wicked smile?
Well, for a long, she didn't know she was me, and I didn't know that I was her right up until the end. But I think she did a really good job of when, you know, in season 4, where I'm in the hospital room with Rumpelstiltskin, when it really was going to show that it was me all along, and she knew, you know, I thought she did a really good job about that. But it's fun, you know. I mean, you get to poof in, and I love being other people. Or like, you know, when Regina was kissing Sean, and he's like, you realise the kiss felt different, that it was me. It's just, I love things like that.
How do they do the poofing? Do you run in? Do you like run in from around a corner? What do they do?
When we had to kiss, kissing Sean's weird because he's like my brother. I'm like, I don't want to kiss him. I mean, he's gorgeous, but he's like my brother. Do you know what I mean? But that scene where, you know, he's kissing Maid Marian, and then you see me looking in the mirror. But it's so funny because Sean's standing there like this with his robe on, and then Christy's kissing him, and they're like, and switch, and she like goes down and goes out, and then I have to come in and come out and just carry on kissing Sean. He's like, this is brilliant. Oh, I love my job. This is like being at school and playing spin the bottle. It was a fun day at the office, for Sean.
We'll do another audience question over here.
Who is your favorite character on Once Upon a Time besides Selina?
I was going to say me. It's definitely Rumpel. I love Rumpelstiltskin. I love that character. Even before I was on the show, I can't get enough of Robert Carlyle. I just think when he's when he's in fairy tale land with all of his stuff on, it's just delicious. I love what he does with that character. So good. And the evil queen, because I love my sister.
All right, you have an avid fan base. I see some of them out here. You call them your pretties.
My pretties! I love my pretties.
We see you interact with them all the time on Twitter. So how much do you enjoy that aspect of your job?
I love social media. Some people hate it. I love it. I mean, when I was on Lost, I couldn't talk to my fans in this capacity. It's so nice to get feedback and ask them questions and just connect with people in that way. I really thoroughly enjoy doing a Q&A on Twitter or just hanging out with my fans online. The Once Upon a Time community is really special, and so many friendships have been forged out of it. But I feel like I'm part of that too. I really do, and it's meaningful to me. And there's even times where nothing on telly, and I'm like, I'm going to hang out with my mates on Twitter for a bit, and it's nice. I'm like, hey, I do. I genuinely find it a value add to my life. I really enjoy it.
What is your question?
All right, hi Rebecca.
Hello.
My name's Gabriel, and my question is that now that the baby is born, Robin's baby, do you think that Regina...
My baby.
Your baby.
Mine.
Do you think...
Not his. He was just a tool.
Well, my question is, do you think that Regina and Zelina have a chance to grow together as sisters, or do you think that the baby might divide them more because Regina wants the baby for herself and Robin? You kind of know what I'm saying?
I do, yo. I think it's like 50-50. It could go either way. I don't know. I lie in bed and I think about it at night. I'm like, do I want it to go that way? I mean, it would be brilliant to have the sisters come together and take over the world. That would be pretty epic. But then I also love fighting with her too. So I'm so #torn about it. And I'm so glad I don't write it, because then I'd have to be the one to make the decision, and I don't. I just want to lie back and think of England. So I don't know yet, and we'll see. But either way, I know. I mean, you just trust the writers. I love what they do. So let's see what happens.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate.
All right, thank you so much, Rebecca, for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming. Keep watching the show. See you at photo ops. I love you. We would have no show without you. Mwah. Love you.